For me, it was very huge inspiration that the body is inspiration itself for our body, and we can take just every process and take it as a thing, and it could transform me as a dancer. It can transform my movements, but also the way how I think about our like human beings, what's inside, and how the processes works, and it's a big inspiration for me.
I've realized a lot of things about my body, but also about how the group works. And for me, it's something special because then I know how to walk into the world, not only in the school as a dancer, but also as a human being outside, and to react somehow as me as a person in this huge world. So that's what I take from yesterday and today also.
You say that you can take it with you as a human as well, but I'm wondering, because for myself I'm doubting, do you think this kind of work is something that really relates and is specific for dancers, or do you think that it's more like separate and it can go for everyone?
I think it can go for everyone, but also as a dancer you have, I would say, a special ability maybe, or an ability to really feel the things deeper than somebody else. So maybe it can give you much more in this moment. But for, I don't know, I would say somebody who's not working with his body, it's hard. He has to work on this for a year. But for us, it's maybe 2 days and you are already changed. So that's something I see different in this work.
It triggers a question, just to open it up also a little bit. You come from different backgrounds, and I'm wondering if and how somatic practice was part of your previous dance education. Maybe it's different for all of you, so let's hear everyone.
Well, I didn't really have experience with somatic dance. A little bit, but not very much. So this is the first week that I got to know it intensively.
For me, I had not a lot of, but I had a few experiences in the school, Feldenkrais and BMC, but also yoga and Pilates. And then outside of school for my body and for my healthy issues. So it's called spiral system. So I did a few things before this week.
I experienced a lot of improvisation through organs, or like how to follow our blood or some stuff like this. And later on, I tried a few lessons of Feldenkrais with Terry, and we had a workshop of BMC. So I had a experience even with the theory, or how to name the things, not just abstractly like I'm working with my body and with the organs, but really like a technique. And I think it could bring much more than we can see now.
I didn't really have experience with somatic practice, but I do think that we all actually kind of do it by ourselves after we took a dance class. When you lay down on the floor, when it's like without noticing, you're actually doing that. When you're stretching or when you're just relaxing, calming down, it doesn't have to be a specific class, but I think every human being actually sometimes does that for herself.
I didn't have experience with these kind of things. I enjoyed it at the moment itself, but like the thing about doing it every day, a lot of times for me this is not working, because I like to work hard. I like to, how I see it is like in a few years when I go out of school, I go in the work field. I have like this dancer in my head who I want to be, and I want to work for this, and with these things I'm not gonna make it.
How do you like to be challenged? How do you like to learn then? If the somatic practice for you is nice, but not a necessity, also relating to, well, let's say urban work field. What kind of challenges do you like then in terms of learning and getting to know your own body? What kind of classes, what kind of styles, what kind of methods? Can you share something?
Well, I'm a breakdancer, so I think I have a different way of learning and learning than most of the people here. And how I learned it, like I had really a lot of motivation to do the things I saw on videos or to saw that what dancers did on stages. And my motivation was so big that I started doing it by myself. And then I learned to know some friends who also did these things. And they taught me that the way you learn it is just do it, and then you will fall, you will crash, you will have pain, and the next day when the pain is over, you won't do it anymore this way. So I like to learn in the hard way. Just try, do, and you will fall, but the next day you won't do the same thing again. So, and that's how I learned most of the things I do. Our mind is always like, look out, be careful, be careful. And we can go past this. We can go way more than our mind is telling us. And that's what I like. And for me, what we do here is too much listening, too much talking, too much. We are too careful.
I can understand that you feel like doing it or feel less like doing it, that you need different kind of challenges to learn the point where you are right now, the background you have, where you want to go. I can also understand that somatic practice is not present in every separate work field as well, so that's clear. But I wonder if we think in transfers, conceptually, the idea, could it be that somatic practice can add something to all the dance fields, for example? Can we imagine that in a longer run it could gain something, even though you can choose for it or not, that it stays a choice, it's optional? Who would like to respond to that?
Well, I think it does add something because you can feel yourself more, and it doesn't matter if you try and try and try and do it every time over, because when you feel yourself better, you know what your body needs, and then you can try even harder when you know what your body wants and what your body needs. And it can be, like you said, 10 minutes after class, that you just listen to your body, what it says. And I think it really adds something.
I would just to say, for me, it really opens different doors and different windows, which I didn't know about before, and I can really bring it to other lessons, like just the way how I think about movement or how I do the movement, and it just changed my whole stand of mind about the other techniques, and I think it's really good to use it anywhere. And for me, it just opened the minds, and it's the most important thing for me. Even when I want to use it just for my body as a technique, still mentally it's very important to receive the ideas and just connect it, because I think that's the point of the somatic techniques.
Maybe I have a question. Would you then do it for yourself more, or do you really think I would really like a class in that regularly during the week, or do you think it's something more for yourself?
Even if I would take a class, it will.
Yeah.
Be
Would you? Would you like to take a real class in that? Have a class every day in it? Do you think that would help you in your dancing, and maybe how?
Well, I think we experience just one lesson this week with Feldenkrais, for example. But I really believe in that after a certain time, the body really could change. We can see it, how it transforms. Because after every lesson, I realize something new about my body, or how it works, how it feels. But you have to be really aware, and it takes time too, just to listen to your body, and you have to take time for understanding your body and how it feels. And in that case, I think it would worth to have, for example, more lessons, because we don't know now what it can bring us.
Can I only say something? No, only that I agree with Jitka, but the schedule should be really like colorful. I would say it's not only, you know, you have Feldenkrais and then you have BMC, but it's really good. For example, like we had yesterday or today, because the class after the morning class BMC we had Duncan technique, but with Dora, and she's really very active. She's like a devil. So then you realize that still when the first hour lesson was really relaxing and a lot of thinking, but then you still can get very active and use all you have discovered the lesson before. But it should change. It shouldn't be like whole day like this, because it would be really hard.
I want to be a good teacher, so I want to know what my body feels like and how I should explain it to my students. So I think it's very individual what you want to get out of your time.
So what can somatic practice bring for the dance teacher who really wants to focus on teaching and transforming, translating and engaging different kinds of groups? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that as a teacher you must be able to feel it, to show how it feels, and to transfer your skills to your students by saying it, by showing it, by letting them feel it, saying this is right and this is wrong, showing the difference, using beeldspraak. Visual language, all different kinds to show your students what they can do with their bodies. And I think that's only possible when you know your own body and your own feelings. And I always dance a bit hard, but I try to get off of that because I want to have like multiple ways of dancing, and I think it's the best when I can get from everything a bit, so I can also teach my students that later.
It's moving, so it's everything together actually. Like when you start to move, it should be something more. And even in ballet class, you can release, you can, I don't know, you can taste your legs or everything. So it's everything connected. But for me, when you do a somatic class, you really like are focusing on something else than in a dance technique. And I think that for us dancers, like when we are talking about the careers, it's that you have the possibility that you know, okay, I can be a dancer, but in the morning I can do the BMC lesson or a Feldenkrais method lesson and not only dance and even earn more money maybe, or I don't know, like you know that, okay, I'm aware of this, I can do this, and I can also do ballet, but I can combine this, and it's connected. It's for sure connected because it's movement.
I just wanted to add, as you said, like you can do it for yourself anyways. But for me, from the somatic lessons, I always take the things like a toy, because even if we are not kids, we like to play. And those are just tools how to reveal something new. And we don't know everything, of course. And so for me, I can make busy myself during other lessons, but still I need to explore more the knowledge how I can play and with what and what senses I can use, because we have those senses, but we don't know about them, I think, yet that much. So,
do you have any ideas about how you would like to transfer your skills and knowledge that you are taught or learned as a dance student and as a dancer in the field to transfer that maybe also to other fields, to redefine your dance career to something else? Is there anything that sometimes crosses your mind, even though it is to teaching or to making dance? That's already a transfer, but maybe it goes even further than that. Maybe you secretly also dream about another kind of career and you think that dance can be a very valuable asset in that. So please share your dreams if you have that, or thoughts or questions or
Because yesterday we saw the performance where they used the physics into, and it really, really inspired me because I used to study physics and I thought it was such a creative idea to use for education because it's so like, because you have a lot of young people who are like, oh my god, physics, all the numbers, and they freak out. But when you learn it in this kind of way, it's so renewing and it's so fresh. And I think if we could use dance or performances through education, it would really, really work. And yeah, it really took my interest, I think. Yeah.
other things? It can be anything. I don't know. It can be anything in life even. You are completely free here to go.
I'm very interested in physical theater, and I always thought that dancing and theater it's like the one thing because still we are expressing through our body something. We want to share something with the audience on the stage. But when I was thinking if I would like to apply for the theater, just for the theater, then I always balance like there's not enough movement for me, and I would like to transform that somehow, and maybe to use my skills how to support the theater field to go through more through the movement than through words. That's what I'm interested in.
I dance because it's fun. It brings people together. It makes people smile, and that's the main reason why I dance. And I like it when people come together and just, even when they don't know each other, dance and have a good night, and like they can create magic. So I like it when I would like to plan events, evenings, jams, battles. I don't know, where people come together, everybody's happy, and just dance and don't think, because today there was a lot of talking about dance, and sometimes it's too much for me. Talking, thinking, what, why is the reason we do this, why? No, sometimes you just have to do, and I support this. I love dance because it's fun. I just like to do it, and I will support the people who also do it for that reason and just want to be themselves. And there is nothing nicer than being on an event with nice music and people who want to dance together with each other. For me, that's the nicest thing there is. So I would like to plan events.
Can I ask a sub question to that? Because I'm wondering then, because it's clear, the feeling and also the sharing and connecting, that's something you find very important through dancing, that's clear. But how do you get creative? Because I see you also searching for movement a lot of times on your own or whatever. So somewhere, somehow, you get creative and you search in your body, in yourself. You probably also have dialogues in yourself. How does that work for you then? How do you get creative? How does dance bring that to you?
I don't think about it. It just happens. Like, you do something. I'm not scared to do something. So when I fail, maybe there was something nice out of it. So when I fail and I'm like, whoa, but when I turn a little bit further, then it can be something nice. So I don't, being creative is like sometimes when you think too much and too far and go too deep into it, it has the other effect. I just do. I get inspiration from like music. Music is my main inspiration source. And from people on the street, just characters, like even games, these things. But I'm not a thinker. I'm more a doer.
I just really I really like thinking about dance, so that's a bit of the opposite. I would like to. I was thinking maybe kind of organize things like this, where people can come together from all different countries and talk and do and experience and feel and learn a lot. I would really like to set programs like this together with a team.
These kind of weeks.
These kind of weeks, yes.
Great initiative. Considering the time, we need to end. Thank you for sharing. It was very nice. Enjoy the week.